Hello! Today I want to talk to you about adaptation. Sometimes adaptation is good, sometimes adaptation feels bad, but sometimes you're forced to adapt to your surroundings because of things that happen outside of you, and sometimes you adapt to things as a form of personal growth. In each of these 3 stories today, our characters are in the middle of an adaptation. I'd love to show you a little bit more about our 3 books. The first book I want to bring you is City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab, a story about a young girl who's forced to adapt to a brave and spooky new world. In the second book, I'm going to share with you Agnes at the End of the World by Kelly McWilliams. This story finds our protagonist in a situation where the world is not at all as she has believed it to be. And finally, I'm going to share with you Starfish by Fipps. In this book, our young heroine decides to own her life and her future by standing up for herself. Let's get started. Cassidy Blake has always been able to lift the veil between the living and breathing world and the world of ghosts and cross over into that world. Well, at least ever since she almost drowned and was saved by her ghostly best friend Jacob. She, her parents, and Jacob travel around the world hunting scientific proof of ghosts for their cable TV show, The Inspectors. In this first of the Cassidy Blake novels, written in 2018, Cassidy finds herself in Edinburgh, Scotland, and pulled into the Vale of the Dead in a city where the dead seem to be everywhere. She must adapt to her new situation fast, and in order to be able to avoid being taken by the evil and ancient spirit, Raven in Red. While there, she befriends another Vale Walker, Laura, who shows her how dangerous the Vale can be, but also how to free the souls that are trapped and send them on from the in-between. Together, they become entwined in the story of a young ghost and the soulless fiend who once preyed on the children of Edinburgh and wished to do so again. Will Cassidy and Laura be able to stop the Red Raven before she strikes again? Or will the children of Edinburgh be doomed to the same fate as a previous generation? Read this great first book in the series to find out and learn if Cassidy can change fast enough to make a difference. In Agnes, at the End of the World by Kelly McWilliams, our protagonist, Agnes, has always been raised in Red Creek, a beautiful and protected community that most outsiders define as a cult. The outside world is wrestling with a worldwide pandemic, and so the church leaders have declared that there is to be no outside contact with anyone for any reason. Well, this is difficult for Agnes, as her younger brother has diabetes and needs the insulin that is readily available right outside the compound walls in order to survive. She meets a nurse and her son Danny, who helps her with her brother's medical needs. Together, Danny and the nurse help Agnes to understand that while the outside world is broken and scary, what's happening inside the compound is even scarier. Is Agnes able to lay aside the only faith that she's ever had and help guide her family away from their idyllic world into a larger, scarier one? Will God still be there on the outside? Read Agnes at the End of the World, a Bank Street Best Book of 2021 to find out. In Starfish, a 2022 Prince Honor winner by Fipps, our young heroine Ellie is a 12-year-old fat girl, constantly bullied. She's bullied at home by her mother, who shows disdain for her young daughter by scolding her about eating better and keeping her from food. Her siblings are allowed to mock her because of her weight. She's bullied at school by classmates and even teachers, who make her size the only and most important thing anyone ever knows about her. She's developed a series of rules for living as a fat girl that include no eating in public and make yourself small. When her neighbor girl befriends her, Ellie begins to be accepted for the very first time, allowing herself to feel just as she is and embrace her inner starfish, allowing herself to spread wide and make an imprint in the world, regardless of her size. This book in verse will resonate for anyone who's ever struggled to feel accepted in their own skin or struggled to stand up for themselves. Read this beautiful and uplifting story to discover your own inner starfish and claim your own space in the world as you follow in Ellie's footsteps. So, I hoped you enjoyed our books. But listen, No matter what kind of adaptations you have to go through in your life, no matter what kind of changes that you have, I want you to know that those adaptations are good. They help you deal with the world in a different way, and you are special and wonderful no matter what adaptations you go through. So don't be afraid. Go out and enjoy the world, make your space, and find your path. I hope you have a great day.